All right, what's going on, y'all? I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to do this video, man. I really didn't want to do it. You guys know I didn't want to do this video. Um, yeah, Lemieux got his ass whooped in there. Like, this fight looked just like Nicholas Walters against Lomachenko. The only difference is Lemieux didn't quit. But as far as the fight is concerned, I mean, he got toyed with throughout the whole round. I mean, the whole fight. It's like, man, like, I have so much I want to say here. I don't even know where to begin. All right, let's start off with David Lemieux. Okay, David Lemieux. We already know how he fights. Okay, we already know he didn't have the greatest defense. All right, we already know he doesn't make any sort of adjustments or anything. He's come forward, very aggressive fighter. Okay, he can get low. Has a lot of power. Listen, when things are going his way, he's good. But when things are going bad for him, he's awful. And we saw the absolute worst. I would be honest with you. I actually think this loss was worse than the Golovkin loss. I know Golovkin beat him and stopped him. Okay, but Saunders didn't even take him seriously. At no point in this fight, he disrespected Lemieux. At least Triple G was fighting Lemieux as if Lemieux was a dangerous fighter, which he is because he has a lot of power. But Saunders was even taking risk in this fight and still didn't care. That seventh round was brutal, man. Like, that was a 10-8 round in my opinion. Saunders was really trying to knock this guy out. I mean, he didn't even move. He stood in the middle of the ring, he kept Lemieux in the center of the ring with him, and literally landed every big shot he threw. Like, Lemieux's face at the end of that round was so red and bloody. It was just like, man, like, Billy Joe, I'll get to Billy Joe. Let me speak more on Lemieux. Lemieux is just like, he was fighting like a little boy that wasn't getting his way, He didn't get what he wanted. He was clearly frustrated as early as the first round, right? Definitely despite the second round. He was frustrated. And his game plan was, well, I'm just going to keep doing the same exact move over and over again until it lands. And that's it, I'm just going to keep throwing Hail Marys. Hopefully something lands. I'm not going to adjust in anything. I'm not going to cut the ring off. I'm not going to do anything, He didn't even make many great attempts at going to the body, He just said, I'm going to just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, okay? And it's very unfortunate for him because Billy Joe Saunders clearly came prepared for this fight. It was weird. I've done predictions for Saunders before a few times on his channel, and I've never picked him to lose a fight, ever. I picked him to beat Monroe. I picked him to beat Eubank. I picked him to beat Lee, and I picked Lemieux to beat him because I just haven't been impressed with Saunders. I haven't been, I haven't been. And I thought that Lemieux and his pressure was gonna favor him later in the second half of this fight. Because Saunders usually gasses out and he slows down, and I thought Lemieux would take advantage of it, and he didn't. Saunders looked very, very impressive here. I don't want to go and try to overrate him or anything like that. But listen, I was impressed because I noticed the difference in his stamina. The guy clearly trained very hard for this fight. And he's always been good. I've always rated him high, except for recently, And now I see the very best of this guy. All right, like, you know what? Now we're at a point. I was listening to Boxing Beats and Rhymes, And he was saying the same thing. He's like, all right, you know what? Now we could take this guy serious. Like now we can at least have that discussion on if he can beat Canelo, Triple G, and Danny Jacobs. We can at least have the discussion now, you know? Because even though he was winning before, you know, he got that gift win against the fighter in between Lee and Monroe. Um, Monroe didn't bring anything to that fight, so I'm not going to even count that performance, all right? Monroe was never a threat in that fight. And I'm not trying to take any credit away from Billy Joe Saunders. It's just that Monroe really wasn't trying to win the fight, you know? But against Andy Lee, he slowed down. Against Eubank, he slowed down. He was boxing well early on. You know, early on, he's always boxing well. But he always slowed down in the second half of the fight dramatically, whereas his opponent is actually coming back. Eubank came back in the second half of that fight. Okay? Andy Lee came back in the second half of that fight. You know? And then he didn't look so great after that. You know? But now he's saying in a post-fight interview, listen, I'm not fat anymore. I'm taking this seriously now. You know, I'm on point with my training. And I believe him, you know? And he looked very impressive. I mean, look, if you can watch the fight just to watch his feet. Yo, his footwork is incredible. He has really, really good legs. You know, just the way he was pivoting around David Lemieux all night, you know, the right hand was so predictable. He would just step right around it every single time and then counter every single time. You know, it wasn't like where Lara was schooling Canelo and at times he wouldn't even throw a punch. You know, he was just making Canelo miss and then keep moving. Just like how, you know, Peterson was doing against Danny Garcia when they fought. You know, Peterson in the first few rounds, he was showing how good he could be. You know, he was showing a lot of good footwork and everything. He was making Danny miss and made him look sloppy, but he wasn't really throwing nothing back. Saunders was making this guy pay throughout the whole fight. All right? You're going to come at me straightforward. You're going to come at me full force. I'm going to make you miss, and I'm going to make you pay for it. And he did it throughout the whole fight. Very, very impressive performance. You might not like the guy. All right? He's a little bit of an asshole. But the guy could box. He got skills. Straight up. He got skills. He got skills. He knows how to box, man. He can really box, and he's not a small middleweight, neither. Now moving on from here, like I said, I think, you know, I see Daniel Jacobs is already calling him out. Okay, I don't know if Golovkin is going to fight Canelo in a rematch. You know, I don't know what's going to happen with that. But I think he's a threat towards whoever he decides to fight next. Okay? You know, we got a couple guys from 154. Andre moved up. Charlo moved up. But right now, I see him fighting Canelo or Triple G. If not, neither one of those two, he's probably going to fight Daniel Jacobs, you know? And I think everybody should take him seriously. I know it's just Lemieux. Listen, if Jacobs fought Lemieux, I would have picked Jacobs to win. If Triple G fought him in a rematch, or if Canelo fought Lemieux, all of those guys, I would have picked all of these guys to beat Lemieux, okay? Saunders made it look extremely easy. A little too easy, okay? It's one thing to dominate. We've seen a lot of guys get dominated. But this guy made it look extremely easy. He looked like he was beating his little brother. You know what I'm saying? He looked like he looked like an 18-year-old fighting against his 5-year-old little brother in there. You know? That's how it looked. So anyway, I want to wait and see what happens from here. Who he decides to fight next. You know, there's a lot. I just recently check it out if you haven't. I just recently did a middleweight video, like not even 2 weeks ago. If you haven't checked that out, check the video out. It's a pretty good video. Listen, I don't know what he's going to do. But, you know, obviously he's waiting for the big money. He seems a lot more confident now, okay? And he should be. You know, just not too long ago, he didn't want to fight Triple G. Not too long ago, he was a guy that was saying that Triple G is the best and he didn't want to fight him. And then when the fight did come and they started negotiating, he was a guy that he kept asking for more money just to avoid the fight. But now he is clearly at his best. He didn't slow down in this fight, you know. And he looked very impressive. That's the best I've ever seen him. All right? I've seen him fight worse opponents and look worse than that. He fought a solid middleweight, a top 10 middleweight, a former champion. And he beat him better than anybody else have, in my opinion. Okay? I was looking at the punch stacks, and I was like, there's no way these punch stats are real. Lemieux definitely didn't land that much. And I think he only landed like 60 total punches, and I don't even think he landed that. I'll maybe give him 30 at tops, you know? And those judges, that one judge that gave Lemieux 3 rounds was clearly out there to rob Billy Joe Saunders, because there's no way that Lemieux won 3 rounds in this fight. You know, if you're gonna give him any rounds, it was the 12th round, and I still may not even give him that round just because Lemieux might have won strictly off defense alone. You know, but you could give Lemieux. I would give Lemieux that 12th round just because he was the aggressor. Outside of that, I didn't see Lemieux. Lemieux won every single round clearly. Okay, clearly. And the 7th round was a 10-8 round, in my opinion. All right. Anyway, I think he is a real threat. For in this, I'm going to say he's a threat to everyone. He's a threat to Jacobs. He's a threat to Jacobs, okay? He's a real fight for Daniel Jacobs, all right? The thing is with Jacobs, he can switch it up so many different ways, and he's also a bigger middleweight, probably bigger than Billy Joe Saunders. He's a bigger and he's a much more skilled boxer. Okay, he's not going to do what Lemieux was in there doing. And you notice that when Saunders fight skilled boxers, okay, it becomes a chess match. It was a chess match against Willie Monroe. It was a chess match with Andy Lee. Okay, that's how the fight would be if Billy Joe Saunders were to fight a Daniel Jacobs, okay? But it's a real fight, all right? Same with Canelo. I think he's a very dangerous opponent for Canelo. I'm going to go as far as saying that because Saunders is going to give him a lot of issues that Lara gave him, okay? The only difference is Saunders is a lot more active in the ring, all right? The activity is higher. The hand speed and the size, the obvious size difference, okay? The hand speed, the volume, the footwork is just as good as Lara's, you know? And he's going to give Canelo those same issues. We all know Canelo's a great counterpuncher and everything like that. He's very skillful himself. But what I'm saying is Saunders is not only bigger, but he's also faster and he's quicker on his feet, okay? And if he's actually preparing for these fights and taking it more seriously than he did before, we can't count on him just slowing down like a lot of people did leading up to this fight. Okay, so he is an actual true threat to Canelo. Okay, and even even Triple G now, because Triple G, you know, he's getting older. He's getting older, and the more he fights, the better chances other opponents have on beating him, because they are figuring out they are starting to see his flaws. You know, people started seeing it when he fought Kell Brook, Daniel Jacobs, okay, Canelo Alvarez, all right? He's having tougher fights. He's fighting better fighters at this point. So this is a better time to fight Triple G. And this is the reason why a lot of people avoided him before, because they wanted to see the openings, they wanted to see the opportunities, and see how to beat this guy. If no one's going to beat Triple G, let's at least analyze and see how we're going to beat this guy, you know? And people are now calling him out more than ever. Before he was a boogeyman. Now It's like everybody's calling him out, you know? So he's a threat to anyone, and he's even a threat to the other guys in the division, like a Charlo or Andre. I don't think he would fight these guys right now. I think he's looking for a big, big fight and a big payday. But Lemieux, listen, quick work with Lemieux. I think, like I said, I think everybody else would beat Lemieux too. All right, but Lemieux is a legit opponent, okay? And he's always dangerous, and you know he's a tough fight for anyone. All right, very impressed with Saunders. Make sure you guys check me out in the next one. I'm out of here. All right, peace.